today I had a big realization with pull-ups. Some of the most exciting times I've had with pull-ups have been when I have done them with bodyweight only. Last year I had a period where I did max unbroken pull-ups, rotating between different variations, and I was able to get up to 21 neutral grip pull-ups unbroken. Unbroken basically just means that I don't rest in the bottom at any point in time. So when I start fatigue and I don't have as much control over my body, I go down slower to be able to actually have the control to pull back up without resting at the bottom. I think like just working on bodyweight pull-ups instead. And what I'm gonna do is gonna be chest to bar. I'm gonna train that, hopefully get it up towards like 15 reps. And what I think is that it's gonna be less fatiguing, which is just the main point of this. And I'll also find it more motivating because I've really been like very tired out of just working with high weights at this point and not seeing any progress. And I think most people probably try to put weight onto pull-ups way too early because barely any people are able to get up to doing 30 good pull-ups. Like that's just a fact. Unless you're okay, tennis athlete and you're really focusing on it, stuff like that. Like there's almost no one who can do 30 very good pull-ups. And especially not chest to bar. So I think you can do bodyweight pull-ups and work on mastering those for a lifetime, and you will never actually 100% master them. Like you'll see Franco Columbus who are doing wide grip chest to bar pull-ups for like 20 reps. Like being able to do crazy shit like that is absolutely insane. So that's one of the things I'll start working on right now. And I mean, in general, like I know I've always been predisposed with just more pushing strength, but as I always say, a weakness can always become a strength. Is one of the things I believe in. So I just think that it's about finding the right way. Right now, when I'm working so much on the front squat and the deadlift, maybe it's not the right time to do heavy pull-ups. I'm also focus on high rep because it's going to be less fatiguing overall. But I mean, even right now, like at 95, close to 95 kilo body weight, like I'm a lot heavier than I was 3 years ago. So of course I'm going to be weaker than when I was 83 kilos 3 years ago. Pull-ups are probably the one exercise that I'm most limited by how much you weigh. Whereas in a dip, I feel like even if I get heavier, I can actually still perform pretty well and lift more. But in a pull-ups, when I get heavier, the performance just drops. I mean, even right now, weighing 95 kilos, I can do a straddle planche like without problems. But I can't even do a advanced tuck front lever, and I've never trained it. So that's probably also why. And I had like half a year where I focused on the planche. I can still hold that because of that, and because I've done so much handstands, many shoulder presses, things like that. But yeah, I just always had an easy time with pushing strength. Like if you've been following me, you know that I went from 70 kilo overhead press up to 100 kilo overhead press in just 5.5 months. And I don't think a lot of people will be able to do that. The reason I was able to do it was probably because I was so conditioned from the handstands. At that point in time, I had already done a few handstand push-ups. I could do a 2 minute handstand. I was training one arm handstand. I could do shoulder presses, things like that. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that I was able to put on the strength when I started to actually specialize in something. Because I had this strength in my triceps, in my traps, stuff like that. Maybe not fully in my shoulders. I also put 7 kilo on during that time. And most of that mass was in my shoulders and a little bit on my legs. So that really shows like how hard I was grinding the overhead press at that point in time. One of the other things was that I was extremely motivated during that point in time. for me, being able to do a 100 kilo overhead press was such a big achievement. It's like, I was like, it's one of the biggest things you can achieve as a natty lifter, I believe, at that point in time. So I was like, I really just wanted to get a 100 kilo overhead press like ASAP. But the way I trained, I don't think a lot of people would be able to, and I only could do that because I was so conditioned from all the handstands in my elbows, in my shoulders, in my wrists even. Like I was training 3 times a week where I would rotate between, in the beginning it was handstand push-up and pause handstand push-up on the floor. When I was able to do 5 sets of 5, I moved on to full range of motion handstand push-ups and full range of motion pause handstand push-ups and rotated between those. So I would do handstand push-ups 3 times a week, and after that I would do overhead presses, and even after that I would add overhead tricep extension. So I was doing a huge amount of volume. At most days I was doing at least 10 sets of overhead pressing for my shoulder with the handstand push-ups and the overhead pressing combined. And if you're able to recover from that, I mean, it's like so much volume that it's impossible not to get stronger and to get better technically at a lift and a movement like that. And then of course, I had some auto regulation. You can't go extremely hard all the time, even if it's not a lot of weight, because I believe when it's under 100 kgs, you're gonna be able to go hard at least once a week, and do a few sets of AMRAP at least once a week and be able to recover pretty well from it. But what I would still do, like sometimes I would do like triple drop sets. That would absolutely destroy me. For other days I would do just speed work or dynamic work. So if let's say my max was 85 kg, I would just do 10 sets of 1 at 70 kg and just focus on moving the weight extremely fast. So it's gonna be very, very light. But my goal is the quality of each single rep, and that it just all reps move exactly the same. Another thing as well to consider is that the overhead press, like the bench press, it benefits from very high frequency. You'll see a lot of people training the bench press, powerlifters training the bench press minimum 3 times a week. But some people train it as much as 6 times a week. So almost every single day. And obviously when you're training it that often, you're not going hard. But the point is that the bench press, it is by far the most technical lift, while at the same time also the least fatiguing, because you're obviously using the least amount of weight and also having the shortest range of motion. So in order to have the best possible technique and have it locked in, you benefit huge from doing a lot of different variations and just having a huge frequency and not always going extremely hard, but having a lot of sets, not very sub-maximal volume, maximal work, low exertion, but extreme amount of sets and reps. So that's the same thing I did with overhead pressing and handstand push-ups in general. And it worked wonders, obviously. And I still believe that for me, when I decide, it's gonna be possible for me to get a 140 kilo overhead press, I think that's possible naturally. Like, that's one of the big goals I have. Right now, I'm just taking a little bit of a break from it to bring up my chest strength, because I think that if I can just isolate it, bring up the strength to my lateral raises, like I said, I did 20 reps with 14 kg today. If I can get that up to 20 kg per arm for 20 reps, if I can increase the strength in my triceps and my chest, all of these things individually improve upon my weaknesses. When I get back to the overhead pressing 3 times a week, using a lot of different variations like behind the neck press, in front of the body, all kind of different stuff, I strongly believe that that I'm gonna be at a stronger point when I get into the groove again because I have built a really good foundation. So that's gonna be really exciting. Like after this year, I think that my the overhead pressing arc is gonna return, and I want to get up to at least 120 kg next year. That's one of my big goals. Um, so I'm so super excited for that. Basically, the overhead press is just like my favorite lift out there. Um, yeah, but this year, my goals are just to be able to. I want to get a 300 kilo deadlift. I want a 200 kilo front squat, and I also want to get up to. I want to get just bring up my weak points with the chest mainly. Um, so I want to actually be able to. Maybe it's a bit of an steep hill to go up, but I want to be able to do 20 reps with 50 kilo dumbbells in the dumbbell press. And I also want to do 20 flies with 30 kilo. I feel that it's going to be more doable because, as you know, I've been stuck with the 40 kilo dumbbell at 17 reps for a bit of time now. Um, so we will see. I hope to at least get like up towards like 15 with 50 kilo dumbbells. And by doing so, I hope my bench press should be at least 160 kg. And if I get there, I have put like 30 kilo of strength on my bench press. Before this, my bench press was just extremely weak compared to my overhead press. Like I would overhead press 105 kg, but my bench only being like 130. So it's like laughable how less stronger it is. So yeah, they're too close to each other. So and I mean, it's because I've never really focused on the bench press. I haven't cared too much about it. It hasn't been a goal of mine. Like I'm not doing bodybuilding, so I've never really focused on getting a big chest until now because it just became such a big weakness. So yeah, I'm excited to about where it's gonna go. The upper body training I'm gonna have Sunday is gonna be very exciting. I can't wait to do the 24 kg dumbbell for flies and the 60 kg dumbbell for lateral raises. I think I'm gonna work up with more strict form, starting at 10 reps, because I can probably do 12 or 13 with the form I've been using now. But I want to start at 10 and just work up and use very strict form and build up to 20 in that way. So that's gonna be very exciting. When I can do 20 lateral raises with 16 kg with very strict form, I think no matter what, that's gonna build really big shoulders. No doubt about that. So, so exciting times ahead, man. I can't wait. And I'll see you all next time.